You could just help me keep an eye on this. I'm not sure what will happen if this screensaver comes on. So when it starts to go a little dull, it'll look kind of like
I know. I know.
then just
Move.
yeah,
And should I do it constantly or?
not constantly, but every few months or something. Because the devotees can come close, please. I'm a vegetarian, don't you? Very nervous.
Però poi è vegetariano e poi
Everyone all together. Hello, hello. Om Jnana Timirandasya Salakaya Chaturvijnana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nivasveta Sunyati Paschasya Deshasari Manushakopa Sarujitram Vipasindhu Jai Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya Gauranga Vijanayata Yatinandam Sarvam Yatinam Sarvam Yatam Varadara Sima Navadvipa Sridhakara Premabhati Vipadastaiva Sri Satyam Namaskaram Priya Vaita Gadadha Priya Chandra Priya Vaita Gadadha Priya Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Gauranga Bolo, Gauranga, 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 bolo. Gauranga, 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 bolo. Gauranga, Gauranga, bolo. Ranga, Ranga,
Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivar Jakacharya Varya Pastota Sata Shri Shri Maharaj Divine Grace Abhay Chana Ravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Vipariki Jayom Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivar Jakacharya Varya Pastota Sata Shri Shri Maharaj Divine Grace Singha Guru Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Nanda Kori Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Radhakun Shamakun Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Navadvip Dham Ki Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai Ki Bhakti Devi Tulsi Maharani Ki Shri Shri Gaura Nityananda Prabhu Ki Shri Prem Purushottam Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Shri Sachinandana Gaura Hari Sudha Avirbhav Titi Maha Mahotsava Ki Shri Gaura Purnima Maha Mahotsava Ki Sankirtan Yagya Ki Vyatmridanga Bhupishti Vishnu Ki Gaur Premanandi Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Pura Graganya Gana Gocha Goloru Haram Gauranga Guru Tama Gopyada Kopa Briksham Gopala Gada Ratidam Yati Singha Gora Govinda Deshi Kavaram Satatam Namani. Listen. Uttama Adama Kichuna Bhakshila Jatiya Dileka Kola Kahe Premananda Emona Gauranga Vidoya Dariya Bola Bhaja Gauranga Kaha Gauranga Gaurangera Namare Jejana Gauranga Bhaje Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yashai Vitadambuja Bhakti Labhya, Prema Bidana, Parama Pumarta, Tasmai Jagan Mangala Mangalaya, Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste. Madhavir Api Gopala Sri Kuryat Kripaya Jari Tadaiva Sambhaya Pidva Vishayustat Priya Jana Shri Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Sasanatana Rupaka Gopala Raghunatha Brajabala Pahina Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So today is the appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Dneska je den zjevení Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Lord Ramachandra is famous as Maryada Purushottam. He's the best of all those who follow Vedic etiquette.
Pán Ramachandra je známý jako Mariáda Purušottam, to znamená nejlepší z těch, kteří následují etiketu.
Krishna is Lila Purushottam.
Krishna je Lila Purušottam.
Not Lila Purushottam Das, but Lila Purushottam. He's the person who does the best of all pastimes.
Ne Lila Purušottam Das, Lila Purušottam to je osoba, která provádí nejlepší ze všech zábav.
And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Prem Purushottam. He's the last limit of Krishna Prem.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu je Prema Purušottam, on je tím poslední úrovní prémy.
We have a very interesting movement, don't we?
Máme opravdu zajímavé hnutí, není to tak?
It's difficult for a lot of people to relate to.
Je pro mnoho lidí je těžké se k němu vztahovat.
The dress and different things about it.
Divně se oblíkáme a spoustu ostatních věcí.
Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to Mr. Ronald Michener in 1967. He was the then Governor General of Canada. Ronald Michener. Ronald Michener.
Srila Prabhupada v 67. roce napsal dopis Ronaldu Michenerovi, který byl armádním generálem kanadské vlády.
And he described something about our movement. He said that the Hare Krishna movement is a, what does he say, non-profit, non-lucrative institution.
A on mu představoval hnutí mezinárodní hnutí pro vědomí Kršny jako neziskovou organizaci.
He said it's a non-sectarian society.
Také zmínil to, že není sektářská.
And in that letter, Prabhupada said, we have members who are Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Sikh, and still they can be a member of our movement and keep their religion.
Srila Prabhupada v tom dopise zmínil, že naši členové jsou muslimové, křesťané, hinduisté, sikové a pořád mohou být členové našeho hnutí.
That sounds nice, doesn't it?
To zní dobře, ne?
But I mean, when we really get down to it, a lot of times it really kind of feels like a religion, doesn't it?
Ale když o tom přemýšlíme, tak to jako zní jako náboženství.
What do you think, Mangala Prabhu? Does it feel like a religion sometimes?
Působí to jako náboženství někdy?
What is the difference between the Krishna consciousness movement and all these other different religions?
A jaký je tedy rozdíl mezi jako Krišnavědomým hnutím a všemi těmi ostatními náboženstvími?
I'd like to, there may be many answers for that, and our time's a little short. I have some very wonderful stories I'd like to share with you today.
A těch odpovědí by mohlo být mnoho, ale máme málo času a já mám pro vás připravený spoustu krásných příběhů.
But I'd like to share with you a conversation with Srila Prabhupada, which gives one particular difference.
A já vám teďka přečtu konverzaci se Srilou Prabhupádou, kde zmiňuje jeden konkrétní rozdíl.
And this is an interactive discussion at this point, okay?
A v tuhle chvíli se to stane interaktivní diskuse.
Because I want to hear what you think about what Srila Prabhupada says.
A já chci slyšet, co si myslíte, že Srila Prabhupáda říká.
And you can be honest, you should be honest.
A měli byste být upřímní.
So devotee said, Prabhupada, I've heard that every one of us who are in the movement now has had some previous association with Lord Chaitanya. Is that true?
Oddaný se ptá, Srilo Prabhupádo, já jsem slyšel, že všichni z nás, kdo jsme v tom hnutí, jsme měli dříve nějakou společnost Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. A je to tak?
Prabhupada replied, well, previous life it may not be.
Jako v minulém životě. A Prabhupád odpovídá, v minulém životě to tak nemusí být.
But he's associating with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the present moment.
Ale vy se sdružujete se Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhuem právě teď.
That's a fact.
To je skutečnost.
Okay, so what do you guys think?
Tak, co si myslíte?
Is Prabhupada trying to like flatter us, make us feel better?
Snaží se nás Prabhupád jenom tak chlácholit, aby jsme se líp cítili.
Mangala Prabhu says, no, he's not trying to flatter us. Okay.
Mangala Prabhu říká, že ne, to tak není.
So then, what does it mean? Can you explain?
Co to znamená? Dokážeš to vysvětlit?
Are you in Gaura-lila right now?
Jsi teďka právě v Gaura-lile?
No. Yes.
Yes. Wow. Really? Could you please say a few words to Chaitanya Nityananda Prabhu for me?
Mohl bys si prosím za mě něco vzkázat pánu Chaitanyovi a Nityanandovi?
Okay, so Mangal Prabhu, he says that we're all in Gaura-lila right now. Okay?
Mangal Prabhu právě prohlásil, že jsme všichni v Gaura-lile právě teď.
Either he's trying to like run for president of the country and trying to get your votes.
Možná se bude snažit o prezidentský post a chce získat nějaký hlasy.
Or maybe he has some other motivation.
Nebo má nějaký jiný motivace, nevíme.
How many of you agree with him that you're in Gaura-lila right now? Raise your hand.
Kolik z vás souhlasí, že jsme právě teď v Gaura-lile?
He's only raised halfway in Gaura-lila. Okay. Okay, so then would you please explain to me how many of you have had a conversation and heard something from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu today?
A můžete mi říct, kolik z vás už jste si povídali s Chaitanyou Mahaprabhuem dneska?
And don't say, well, I heard Shastra say, I heard the Mahamantra. No, I want Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to you and said, Mangala, you really need to shave your face, or whatever.
A já nemyslím jako, jo, slyšel jsem šástře a prostě takovýhle jako věci, ale já chci slyšet, jak Chaitanya Mahaprabhu řekl, hele, Mangala, musíš se oholit.
What does it mean? What do you think? What do you think?
Co myslíš?
Are they just like all the older devotees are just telling you like this just so you'll like stay in the Hare Krishna movement or something? It's a kind of conspiracy or something?
Je to nějak spiknutí, že ti to všichni oddaní budou říkat, aby si zůstal v hnutí?
What do you think?
Co myslíš?
Do you believe what they're telling you?
Věříš tomu, co se říká?
Gaura-lila is going on right now.
Gaura-lila teďka právě probíhá.
Yes, really. How?
A jak?
I don't know. Everybody just told me that, right?
Nevím, všichni to říkají.
It's not good.
To není dostatečné.
I'd like to discuss this today.
Tak já to chci dneska
From the
prodiskutovat.
perspective both of our Gaudiya literature, philosophy, and also from some pastimes.
Z pohledu Gaudiya Vaishnavské filozofie, šástry, ale i s pomocí několika zábav.
So please come with me for the next hour and a half or so.
Tak prosím, doprovoďte mě příští hodinu a půl.
Forget all about your problems.
Zapomeňte na všechny svoje problémy.
Don't worry about your wife.
Ne, nestarej se o manželku.
You're not married, are you?
Ještě nejsi oženěný.
No, good. Your life's with you. Don't worry about your problems or about school or this thing or that thing. The problems will still be there in a couple hours from now. Don't worry.
Takže nemusíte se strachovat, ty problémy za 2 hodiny tady pořád budou, tak teďka je můžete odložit na chvíli.
But just a little while, please. Give me your ears, your minds, and your hearts.
Jenom na tu chvilku mě dejte svoje mysli, svoje uši a svoje srdce.
So, Vrindavan Das Thakur says in Chaitanya Bhagavata,
Chaitanya Bhagavatě Vrindavan Das Thakur říká,
Ajapiha Chaitanya e Shabani Kori, Jakone Jahari Kori Dristi Hari. Follow. Adyapiha Chaitanya e Shabalila Kori. Right now, right here in this room,
právě v této místnosti,
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates are doing all their pastimes.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a všichni jeho společníci provádí své zábavy.
I mean, come on. Is it true?
Je to pravda?
Okay, he's saying this, but he hasn't talked to me.
On to říká.
Nilamada Prabhu, is he talking to you?
Sure.
Yes, okay. Okay, well, so if you have any questions, you should ask Nilamada, but please ask Mahaprabhu to tell him who I should marry.
Takže pokud budete mít nějakou otázku, tak byste měli jít za Nilamadovou a poprosit ho, ať za vás se zeptá Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a koho si máte vzít a podobné otázky.
I'm being a little mean. Maybe there's something more to it. Adyapiha Chaitanya Ishabalila Kori. Right now, right here, all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu are going on.
Takže teď a tady všechny zábavy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a Prabhu.
But not everybody can see it.
Ale ne každý je může vidět.
Jakone Jahari Kori Drishti Adhikari. Someone who's a Drishti Adhikar, very fortunate person, they can see it, others can't.
Osoba, která je velice šťastlivá, velice požehnaná, tak to může vidět.
So this statement is made in many, many different places in Gaudiya literatures. I'm not going to kill all of you with a whole bunch of verses.
Takže toto prohlášení je na mnoha místech v šástře. Nechci vás tady mučit všema citátama veršů.
But I would like to share with you some of the comments from Srila Prabhupada about this. They're very astonishing.
Ale chtěl bych se s vámi podělit o nějaké komentáře Srily Prabhupády, jsou velice úžasné.
This is from a purport to Madhya Lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 11, text 89.
Tohle je z významu Chaitanya Charitamrity Madhya Lily 11. kapitoly 89. šlo.
He says, one who is intelligent understands that all the personal associates and devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are ever liberated.
Ten, kdo je inteligentní, tak chápe, že Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a všichni jeho společníci jsou věčně osvobozené.
This means that because they are always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, they do not belong to this material world.
To znamená,
this means that because they're always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, they do not belong to this material world.
To znamená, že tím, že jsou neustále zaměstnáni v oddané službě, oni nepatří do tohoto hmotného světa.
Prabhupada says, one who is engaged in the Lord's devotional service 24 hours daily,
a Prabhupada říká, ten, kdo je zaměstnán Pánovou službou 24 hodin denně
and never forgets the Lord,
a nikdy na Pána nezapomíná,
is called Nitya Siddha.
se nazývá Nitya Siddhou.
Maybe some of you don't understand that term. What does Nitya Siddha mean?
Možná je potřeba vysvětlit ten termín, co znamená Nitya Siddha.
Yeah, Nitya means eternal. Siddha means perfect.
Nitya znamená věčně a Siddha znamená dokonat.
A Nitya Siddha is someone who is a personal associate of the Lord in the spiritual world.
Nitya Siddha je někdo, kdo je věčným společníkem Pána v duchovním světě.
Okay. How many of you here consider yourself to be Nitya Siddhas? Raise your hand.
Kolik z vás se považuje za Nitya Siddhi zde? Zvedněte ruku.
No, not yet. Maybe next week.
Možná příští týden.
Working on it.
Pracujeme.
Of course, Prabhupada says here, a little minor clause, he says all the devotees of Mahaprabhu are Nitya Siddhas.
Říká, všichni oddaní Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a je tam taková malinká věc.
And he says, anyone who is engaged in the Lord's devotional service 24 hours daily
Říká, kdokoliv, kdo je zaměstnán v oddané službě Pánu 24 hodin denně
and never forgets the Lord is a Nitya Siddha.
a nikdy na Pána nezapomíná, je Nitya Siddha.
Okay, so let's look again. Prabhupada says a little bit later in the same purport.
Ve stejném významu trochu později Srila Prabhupada říká.
One should not think that because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present 500 years ago,
Člověk by si neměl myslet, že jelikož byl Chaitanya Mahaprabhu přítomný před 500 lety,
only his associates were liberated.
pouze jeho společníci byli osvobozeni.
Rather, Srila Narottam Das Thakur says that anyone is a Nitya Siddha
Naopak, Srila Das Thakur říká, že každý je Nitya Siddha,
if he acts on behalf of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu
pokud jedná pro Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
by spreading the glories of the holy name of the Lord.
pro šíření svatého jména Pána.
We should respect those devotees preaching the glories of the Lord as Nitya Siddha.
Měli bychom ctít takové oddané, takto zaměstnané oddané jako Nitya Siddhi.
And should not consider them conditioned.
A neměli bychom je považovat za podmíněné.
Wow. So, what does it mean to see the pastimes of the Lord?
Takže co znamená vidět zábavy Pána?
How many of you here have been to Vrindavan?
Kolik z vás bylo ve Vrindavanu?
Raise your hand. Okay. Now, you see this pictures here?
Vidíte ty obrázky tady?
How many of you, when you went to Vrindavan, saw something like this?
Kolik z vás, když jste byli ve Vrindavanu, jste viděli něco takové?
I don't mean paintings. I mean,
Nemyslím obrázky.
only one.
Pouze jeden.
We saw you raise your hand, but we know your position now.
Ale my jsme tě už viděli, jak jsi zvedl tu ruku, takže my už víme, co si zač.
Once I heard a story about a devotee whose father was a mayor of a small town in South America.
Slyšel jsem příběh o jednom oddaném, jehož otec byl starostou v malém městě v Jižní Americe.
And his son had joined the Hare Krishna movement.
Jeho syn se připojil k hnutí Hare Krishna.
And he told his father, Dad, I saved up money. I want to pay for your ticket and bring you to the most sacred place in all the three worlds, the land, Vrindavan.
On přišel za otcem a říkal, tati, já jsem našetřil nějaký peníze, já tě chci vzít do nejposvátnější země na světě, do Vrindavanu.
So he brought him to Vrindavan.
Tak ho přivedl do Vrindavanu.
What was his experience?
Co byl jeho zážitek?
That father commented afterwards.
Ten otec to posléze komentoval.
He said, we have public toilets in our small town in South America that are more clean than the streets in Vrindavan.
Řekl, veřejné záchodky v tom našem malém městě v Jižní Americe jsou čistější než ulice Vrindavanu.
He didn't have such a good experience.
Nebyl to příliš dobrý zážitek.
And sometimes maybe, let's be honest, maybe we haven't had such a good experience either.
A když budeme upřímní, tak možná ani my samotní jsme neměli tak pěkný zážitek.
A few years ago, I got to have 8 rabies shots because I was attacked by a group of monkeys in downtown Vrindavan.
Takže před pár lety jsem musel dostat 5 injekcí proti vzteklině, protože mě napadla skupina opic.
There's 3 different types of perspectives.
Takže jsou 3 různé perspektivy.
Or darshan. One is called Drishyaman darshan. Drishyaman darshan means a common viewpoint.
Takže ten Drishyaman darshan je obyčejná vize.
It means you see the external things.
To znamená, že vidíte ty vnější věci.
Whatever it is in that ditch smells really bad.
Cokoliv to je v tom tý strouze, tak to fakt smrdí.
That's Drishyaman Darshan.
To je Drishamandar.
Srila Prabhupada said that we don't see Vrindavan with our eyes, we see Vrindavan with our ears.
Srila Prabhupada říkal, my nechceme vidět Vrindavan našima očima, ale našima ušima.
So there's another type of darshan, it's called Shabda Darshan, or seeing with the ears.
Takže další ten druh toho daršanu je Shabda darshan, to je když vidíme ušima.
For those of you who like to study Shastra, Bhagavatam 3.9.11.
Bhagavatam 3.9.11 je o tomhle.
Sutekshita Patta, the path of seeing with the ears.
Je to cesta toho vidět ušima.
So we hear from authority what Vrindavan is like,
Takže slyšíme od autority, jaký je Vrindavan,
but it's not yet realized.
ale ještě to není realizované.
The third type of darshan or vision is uprakrit darshan, which means transcendental divine vision.
A dalším druhem daršanu je aprakrita daršan, jako transcendentální vize.
And Srila Prabhupada spoke about this sometimes. He said, you can speak to the deity and the deity will speak back to you.
Srila Prabhupada o tom někdy mluvil. Říkal, můžete mluvit s božství a božstva vám budou odpovídat.
This is the purpose of this movement.
To je významem tohoto hnutí.
It's not, we don't care what religion you belong to.
Nezajímáme se o to, jakému patříte náboženství.
Sometimes Krishna Kunda and I, we visit one Islamic country, which I can't say because they're recording this right now.
My občas navštěvujeme se ženou Prabhu navštěvujeme islámskou zemi, kterou nemůžu zmínit jménem, protože se to nahrává.
And I remember the first time we went there, we were giving classes, only one temple in the whole country that's legally allowed.
A já si pamatuju, jako první rok, když jsme to navštívili, tak tam byl jeden chrám v celé zemi, který byl legálně povolen.
And we were giving class every day. The devotees were very nice. Many devotees were coming.
A my jsme dávali každý den lekci, od den přicházeli.
And there was one Mataji who was coming and she was wearing a burqa. I mean, like full on, you could only see her eyes.
A každý den přicházela na tu lekci jedna Mataji a ona měla plnou jako burku, jenom oči.
Any ladies here wear burqas sometimes?
Někdo z dám tady občas nosí burku?
You're not into that. Okay. I'm not used to ladies wearing burqas, to tell you the truth. It's the first time that it ever happened to me.
Tak něco, na co já jsem zvyklý vidět ženu v burce a bylo to poprvé, co jsem se s tím setkal.
But she was coming every day.
Ale ona přicházela každý den.
Finally, I asked someone, who's that lady with the burqa?
A nakonec já jsem se zeptal někoho, kdo to je ta žena.
And they said, oh, that's such and such lady. She's belongs to an Islamic family.
A oni mi řekli, jo, to je ta a ta, patří k islámské rodině.
And she does her namaz, her daily prayers 4 times a day strictly.
A ona se pravidelně modlí, jako podle těch muslimských pravidel.
And she chants 16 rounds every day.
A zpívá 16 kol.
But she dresses like this because if she doesn't, her family will kill her.
Ale ona se takto obléká, protože kdyby se tak neoblékala, tak její rodina ji zabije.
Now, maybe your family won't kill you, but for some of us, we have to go home for Christmas time, isn't it?
Tak možná vás třeba jako nezabijou, ale někteří z nás musíme za rodinou třeba na Vánoce.
Maybe you have to go to church for Easter.
Možná musíme na Velikonoci do kostela.
Because that's the family that you grew up with.
Protože to je ta rodina, v které jste vyrostli.
That's fine. We do that. We have nothing against that.
To je v pořádku, proti tomu nic nemáme.
In one conversation in San Francisco one year, Srila Prabhupada made some interesting comments.
V jedné konverzaci v San Francisku Srila Prabhupada komentuje.
He pointed at different people in the room.
Ukázal na několik lidí v místnosti.
He said, you're a Christian, you're a Hindu, you're a Muslim.
Ty jsi křesťan, ty jsi hinduista, ty jsi muslim.
I said, you're good, he's good. He's also good.
Ty jsi dobrý, ty jsi taky dobrý, tenhle je taky dobrý.
He said, you do your religion. He said, but where is your love for God?
To je v pořádku, dělejte svá náboženství, ale kde je vaše láska k Bohu?
We don't care what religion you happen to belong to.
My se nezajímáme o to, k jakému náboženství
The
patří.
Prabhupada said the test of your religion is, where is your love of God?
Prabhupada říkal, testem vašeho náboženství je, kde je láska k Bohu.
Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in the 9th chapter describes the nature of this process.
Krishna v 9. kapitole Bhagavad Gita popisuje tento proces.
Raja Vidya, Raja Guyam. It's the topmost knowledge,
Je to to nejvyšší poznání,
the most confidential.
nejdůvěrnější.
And Pratyak Savagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartamyagam. It's something which should be directly experienced.
A je to něco, co by mělo být přímo prožíváno.
We don't care what religion you come from,
Nezajímáme se, z jakého pochází ten náboženství.
but we would like everyone to have the Krishna experience.
Ale chceme, aby každý mohl mít zážitek Kršny.
Rupa Goswami begins his Lagu Bhagavatamrita with these words.
Rupa Goswami začíná svou Lagu Bhagavatamritu těmito
Shri
slovy.
Chaitanya Mukodjana Hare Krishneti Varnaka Majayanti Jagat Premi Vijayanti Tadavaya. That Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the Hare Krishna mantra to everyone.
Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dal Hare Krishna Mahamantru každému.
And in that way he was spreading love of God.
A tímto způsobem šířil lásku k Bohu.
So we want to directly experience.
Takže my chceme přímý zážitek.
And that's the purpose of this movement.
A to je významem tohoto hnutí.
Not just what religion do you belong to? I'm a Hare Krishna.
Ne, k jakému náboženství patří, já jsem Kršňan.
What does that mean?
A co to znamená?
Oh, I do 4 of these and 16 of these, and I get up at this time of day, and that's why I'm a Hare Krishna.
Já následuju 4 tohodle a zpívám 16 tamhle z toho a vstávám tolik a to znamená, že jsem Kršňan.
Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj once asked an interesting question. My Guru Maharaj once asked us an interesting question.
Můj Guru Maharaj se nás jednou zeptal zajímavou otázku.
He said, what is ISKCON?
Řekl, to je ISKCON.
Simple question, isn't it?
To je docela jednoduchá
He
otázka.
said, he answered himself, he said, it's the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
On sám odpověděl, je to Mezinárodní společnost pro vědomí Kršny.
And then he asked a little bit of an uncomfortable question.
Pak se zeptal trochu nekomfortní otázku.
Who is really a member?
Kdo je skutečně členem?
He answered it himself.
Sám jí odpověděl,
Someone who's Krishna conscious.
někdo, kdo si je vědomý Kršny.
And then in front of about 100 devotees, he pointed at me
A pak před asi 100 oddanýma na mě ukázal.
and he said, Madhavananda, not yet joined.
Madhavananda se ještě nepřipojil.
So sometimes devotees, they ask me, say, Prabhu, can you tell me, how did you join?
Občas se oddaní takhle baví mezi svou pravu, jak jsi se připojil k hnutí.
I say, well, I'd like to,
A já vždycky odpovídám, jo, já bych rád,
but I haven't joined yet.
ale ještě jsem se nepřipojil.
We should understand what it really means to be a member of this movement.
Měli bychom rozumět tomu, co to znamená být skutečně členem tohoto hnutí.
And we should aspire for that.
A o to bychom měli usilovat.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur says there's 2 kinds of persons.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur říká, že existují 2 druhy osob.
There's the bahirmukh janas, the external persons.
Ty osoby, které jsou pouze vnější.
You ask them what is a Christian.
Zeptáte se jich, co je to, kdo je křesťan.
They'll say those are the guys that wear black and they have this white collar.
To jsou ty, co nosí černý a mají ten bílej výmeček.
We ask them what is a Muslim.
Když se jich zeptáte, kdo je muslim.
So those are the guys that wear some cloth wrapped around their head. And
To jsou ty, co mají něco namotaného na hlavě.
they do jihad.
Dělají džihad.
They ask them what is a Hare Krishna.
Když se jich zeptáte, kdo je Hare Krishna.
Oh, those are the crazy people. The guys shave their head and they jump up and down in the street wearing some sheets.
A tak to jsou ty poholený blázni, co běhají po ulicích v prostěradle.
That's the vision of a bahirmukh jana, an external person.
To je vize osoby, která je vnější.
We want to have this antarmukh darshan. We want to have an internal darshan.
A my ale chceme mít tu vnitřní vizi, vnitřní daršan.
Let me tell you a few stories.
Já vám řeknu pár příběhů.
The first one is from Jaiva Dharma.
První je Jaiva.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes two young devotees whose names were Vijay Kumar
Bhaktivinoda Thakur popisuje dva oddané, jedním je Vijay Kumar
and Brajanath,
a druhým je Vrajanath.
and how they were going to get initiated.
A jak byli jako zasvěceni.
So it was a very auspicious day.
Že to velice...
They had a function at Srivas Anga, the place in Mayapur where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to do kirtan every night, Srivas Thakur's house.
A mělo se to odehrát v Srivas Anganu, to je dům Srivase Pandita v Mayapuru, kde probíhaly celonoční kirtany s pánem Chaitanyou.
When you have some function like that, you should invite all the Vaishnavas.
A když se taková událost děje, tak máte pozvat všechny Vaishnavy,
Because you want their blessings.
protože chcete jejich požehnání.
So they invite them and they arrange for very nice prasadam,
Tak oni zařídili velice pěkné prasádem,
very nice boga to be offered to the deities.
pěknou bohu, která byla obětována
And they
božům.
served each and every one of the devotees there in a very humble, sweet way.
A každému oddanému sloužili velice sladkým, pokorným způsobem.
They had wonderful kirtan.
Měli úžasný kirtan.
These two personalities got initiated.
Tyto dvě osobnosti byly
And then it
zasvěceny.
was time for the feast.
A pak přišla hostina.
That's the part of our philosophy that's the easiest to digest.
To je část naší filozofie, která je nejsnadnější strávit.
So they served out all the devotees some nice banana leaf plates.
Tak oni rozdali všem oddaným ty banánové listy.
And they went around to give everybody prasadam.
Každému nám dali prasáda.
And the devotees were saying, no, you should also take prasadam.
A oddaní říkali, ne, vy byste také měli přijmout.
No, we'll wait.
Ne, my počkáme.
After you take, then we'll take.
Až se najíte vy, tak my si dáme.
It was such a sweet, loving sangha of devotees.
Byla to taková sladká, láskyplná sanga.
So the devotees, they chanted their prasadam prayers.
Oddaní odspívali své modlitby.
And very happy, they all started to take prasadam.
A pak všichni začali přijímat prasáda.
And then something happened.
A pak se něco stalo.
And they couldn't take prasadam.
A oni nemohli přijmout to prasáda.
Some of them had a handful of prasad and it was halfway to their mouth.
Někdo z nich měl jako už v ruce nandaný sousto a byl na půli cesty do pusy.
And suddenly they froze.
A najednou zamrzli.
All the devotees there at that time, they could see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu were personally present.
Všichni přítomní oddaní, co tam byli, tak najednou viděli, že tam je pán Chaitanya s pánem Nityanandou.
And then they saw Sachimata, the mother of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, serving her Nimai prasadam.
A pak viděli, jak Sachimata slouží svému Nimájovi prasádam.
They saw Malini Devi, the wife of Shiva Thakur, giving them prasadam.
Viděli Malini Devi, manželku Srivase Pandita.
There was Sita Thakurani, the wife of Advaita Acharya, also serving them prasadam.
Sita Thakurani, manželka Advaita Acharya, tam také byla, sloužila jim prasádam.
All the devotees forgot all about their prasadam.
Všichni zapomněli na své prasádam.
Everyone saw that amazing vision.
A všichni měli tuto úžasnou vizi.
And then suddenly it disappeared.
A pak najednou to všechno zmizelo.
And then all the devotees there, they began to cry.
A všichni oddaní začali plakat.
And started embracing each other.
Začali se objímat jeden druhého.
And they said, very fortunate, these two devotees.
A říkali, tyto dva oddaní jsou velice požehnaní.
This is a proper initiation ceremony.
Takhle má vypadat správné zasvěcení.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he comments in the Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur v Chaitanya Bhagavatě komentuje.
Ghora Chandra Avirbhava Sune Jai Jani Abu Duka Nahi Ta Janne Rama Rani Bolo Hare Krishna Gaura Chandra Avirbhava Suni Jai Jani. Anyone who hears about the pastimes of the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Kdokoliv slyší o zábavách zjevení Šri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
I think later Lalita Madhaprabhu is going to speak about Mahaprabhu's appearance. Yes? Nila Madhaprabhu, I'm sorry.
myslím, že později Nila Madhava Prabhu bude
Something connected with it. Kabuduka Nahitar Janniva Marani. If you just hear that kata,
pokud uslyšíte takové kata,
Kabuduka Nahi, you won't have any problems.
nebudete mít žádné problémy.
Tar Janniva Marani, neither in this life or at the time of death.
V tomto životě a i v čase smrti.
Shrile Chaitanya Kata Bhati Phala Gure. Janne Janne Chaitanya Sange Ade Bolo. Shrile Chaitanya Kata. You just hear Gaura Kata. That's all you have to do.
Jenom naslouchejte Gaura Kata, nic jiného nemusíte
Bhakti
dělat.
Phaladare, and you get the fruit of bhakti.
A získáte plod bhakti.
And what happens?
A co se stane?
Janme Janme Chaitanya Shangi Avatari. Just by hearing Gaura Kata, you'll become an associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu birth after birth.
Jenom tím, že budete naslouchat Gaura Kata, se stanete společníkem Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a zrození za zrození.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he comments,
To je, co říká Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur.
if someone just hears the topics of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
Pokud jen nasloucháme o tématech spojených s Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
then their bhakti is awakened.
tak taková bhakti je probuzen.
And they can accompany Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in all of his incarnations in this world.
A můžou doprovázet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a ve všech jeho inkarnacích v tomto světě.
Krishna Yasa Sunite Se Krishna Sangha Ishvarera Sangita Prabhu Tyaganai Bolo. One who just hears the pastimes of Krishna.
Ten, kdo pouze naslouchá o zábavách Kršny,
Say Krishna Sangapai. They're directly associating with Krishna by hearing that.
tak se přímo sdružují s Kršnou tím sluchem.
Kabu Tagana, they're never separated from the Lord.
A nikdy nejsou odděleni od Pána.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta comments on this.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati.
By hearing glorification of Gaura Krishna, one achieves Gaura Krishna's direct association.
Ten, kdo naslouchá o zábavách Gaura Kršny, tak získá přímo společnost Gaura Kršny.
Because the topics of Krishna and the names of Krishna are not different from Krishna himself.
Protože jména a zábavy Kršny se od něho neliší.
Therefore, there's no reason for one to separate Gaura-lila from Krishna-lila.
A proto není důvod, abychom oddělovali Gaura-lilu od Kršna-lilu.
And we were speaking something about that this morning.
Dneska ráno jsme o tom něco mluvili.
I'd like to tell you another history.
Ještě vám chci říct jeden příběh.
Is anybody here familiar with the name, the place name Keturigram?
Zná někdo z vás Keturigram, to místo Keturigram?
Something very, very important happened there.
Tam se stalo něco velice důležitého.
What's so important about Keturigram?
Co je tak významného na Keturigramu?
It was the first Gaura Purnima festival.
Tam proběhl první festival Gaura Purnimy.
Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes we think, well, there's a lot of problems in the Hare Krishna movement.
Někdy si můžeme takhle jako lamentovat v tom hnutí Hare Krishna, je tolik problémů.
It didn't just start with ISKCON a few years ago.
A to nezačalo ISKCONem před pár lety.
But those problems go way back 500 years.
Ale tyhle ty problémy probíhají už 500 let.
After Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Gadadhar Pandit, members of the Panchatattva, left this world,
Poté, co Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a ostatní členové Panchatattvy opustili tento svět,
The Acharya at that time was the wife of Lord Nityananda, Janava Mata.
Áčáriou v té době byla manželka pána Nityanandy, Janava Mata.
She was giving initiations.
Ona dávala zasvěcení.
And at that time, there was many different ideas going around.
A v té době spoustu různých nápadů bylo.
Some of the followers of Advaita Acharya were saying that actually Advaita Acharya is really Krishna.
Někteří následovníci Advaity Acharya se snažili tvrdit, že Advaita Acharya
Some
je
were saying, no, Nityananda Prabhu is.
Jiní říkali, ne, je to Nityananda.
Different devotees are saying different things.
Různí oddaní říkali různé věci.
There was a need to make a synthesis of the movement.
A bylo potřeba to hnutí stmelit.
To get everyone onto the same page.
Aby všichni to rozuměli jako
And so
věcem.
as the head of the Hare Krishna movement at that time, Janava Mata called for all the devotees to come for a festival at Katuri Gram.
A proto jako vůdce všech Gaudiya Vaishnavů, Janava Mata svolala to shromáždění ze všech míst do Katuri Gram.
And they installed different deities of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna at that time.
Při tom festivalu instalovali mnoho božstev Rádhy a Kršny a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Janava Mata was in charge. She told Narottam, I want you to do kirtan.
A Janava Mata to měla všechno na starosti a požádala Narottama Das Thakuru, aby vedl kirtan.
Let me sing to you some verses telling a story from a book called Bhakti Ratnakara.
Zaspívám vám pár veršů z knihy, která se jmenuje Bhakti Ratnakara.
This is a book which was written by a great devotee. His name is Narahari Chakravarti, and I have a wonderful story to tell you about him too.
Byla napsána oddaným, který se jmenoval Narahari Chakravarti, a i o něm vám povím úžasný příběh.
This book is kind of a history of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and different important devotees.
Je to v podstatě taková historie Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a různých oddaných.
It was written about, I don't know, maybe 100 years after the disappearance of Mahaprabhu.
A byla napsána přibližně 100 let po odchodu Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
And this book was very much appreciated by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Bhaktisiddhanta. Both of them published it.
A jak Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, tak Bhaktivinoda Thakur tu knihu vydali a velice ji oceňovali.
So let's go. Come with me. Come with me.
Tak pojďte se mnou.
Narotono pani kripa drishti nirakiya. Najani ki shati sansharila dishtahoya bolo. This was the beginning of a very amazing pastime.
To byl začátek velice úžasné zábavy.
Janava Mata was looking very intensely at Narottam Das Thakur.
Janava Mata velice intenzivně hleděla na Narottam Das Thakur.
Kripa drishti nirakaya. She gave her merciful glance on him.
Ona mu udělila svůj milostivý pohled.
And by that merciful glance, Shakti Sancharila, she gave him great power.
A tímto milostivým pohledem mu dala velkou šakti.
And then all the different devotees there, the leading devotees like Achyutananda, the leading son of Advaita Acharya.
A pak všichni ti vedoucí oddaní Achyutananda, který byl hlavním ze synů Advaity Acharya.
They gave their avirbhav, they gave their blessing to Narottam Das Thakur.
Tak oni dali blessing Narottam Das Thakur, po požehnání Narottam Das Thakur.
And then Narottam, he said, how can I lead kirtan? I'm just a junior person. I never met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
A Narottam Das Thakur říkal, jak já mohu vést kirtan? Já jsem tady nejmladší, já jsem nikdy se nesetkal s Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
With straw in his teeth, he went to all the different mahants. Sakala Mahanta Priya Narottam Prati.
A se stéblem trávy v ústech šel za všemi lídry Mahanty.
Sankirtana Rambaye Dilena Anumati. And they all gave their blessings. You do kirtan.
A všichni mu dali požehnání. Ty udělej kirtan.
We do kirtan. We speak Krishna Katha on the order of Gurudev and the Vaishnavas.
My děláme kirtan, nebo mluvíme katha na pokyn Guru a Vaishnavu.
We don't consider ourselves qualified for that.
My se necítíme kvalifikovaní.
So At that time, Narottami had a band of transcendental musicians.
A Narottam měl celou skupinu transcendentálních hudebníků.
Narottami priya parikara jana sakale gita nitya vade vichara. Narottam sat down with a very intimate group of friends.
Narottam se posadil s velice důvěrnou skupinou přátel.
Priya parikara jana. This is what a festival means. We come together because we love the devotees.
To je to, co znamená festival. Sejdeme se, protože milujeme oddané.
And in that group, there were some of them, Nitya Vadye Vichakshana. They were very expert mridanga players.
A mezi nimi byli velice expertní hráči na mridangu.
There was one devotee's name was Devi Das, and he could play the mridanga in such an astonishing way.
Jeden oddaný se jmenoval Devi Das a hrál úžasným způsobem na mridangu.
And how did they begin?
A jak začali?
These instruments, first of all, Narottam Das Thakur worshipped them.
Takže nejdřív Narottam Das Thakur uctíval všechny ty
He
nástroje.
offered some incense and flowers and sandalwood paste
Obětoval jim vonou tyčinku, santálovou pastu,
to
květinu,
the kartals and the mridanga,
kartálům, bridance,
because they're personalities.
protože oni jsou osobní.
And then before he began to, quote, play them,
A předtím, než začal jako ten kirtan, tak on na ně hrál.
he let the instruments speak for themselves.
A než na ně hrál, tak je nechal, aby promluvili sami za sebe.
We always do this.
My to vždycky
The
děláme.
harmonium speaks.
To je, jak mluví harmonium.
And the mridanga began to speak.
A pak mridanga začne mluvit.
And the kartals and the janjas began to talk.
Kartály, džadže.
And then Narottam Das Thakur, he looked like a moon sitting with many stars around him, all the wonderful devotees.
A Narottam Das Thakur vypadal jako měsíc obklopený hvězdami.
He first did kirtan, glorifying Guru.
Nejdříve začal oslavovat Gurua.
And then the Vaishnavas.
Poté Vaishnavi.
First is Gurudev, then the Vaishnavas.
První je Gurudev, pak Vaishnava.
And then he sang the glories of Nityananda Prabhu.
Potom začal zpívat o slávách
And
Nityanandy.
then he began to sing the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Gaura Purnima Day.
A pak začal zpívat slávy Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a den Gaura Purnimy.
And he was singing such a very sweet way
A zpíval tak sladkým způsobem,
that Ishvari, Janava Mata, she began to cry in ecstasy.
že Jánava Mata začala naříkat v extázi.
And all the devotees who were there, they also began to cry and cry.
A všichni oddaní, co tam byli, tak plakali a plakali.
And the devotees who were there at that festival, they started speaking. This is amazing. This is an amazing kirtan.
A ty oddaní, co tam byli, tak tohle je úžasný kirtan.
It's not just music, but it's something which pierces the heart.
To není jen hudba, to je něco, co propíchne srdce. Zasáhne srdce.
And then an amazing thing happened. They saw the animals from the village starting to come to the kirtan.
A pak najednou viděli, jak zvířata z té vesnice začnou přicházet do toho kirtanu.
All the cows and the dogs and cats, they were coming and sitting, listening to the kirtan.
Krávy, psy, kočky přicházeli, poslouchali kirtan.
And then in front of everyone, all the animals from the forest, the deer and the birds and different animals, they came, were sitting and listening to that kirtan.
A pak všechny zvířata z lesa, jako jelínci, ptáci a všichni ostatní přicházeli a poslouchali ten kirtan.
And you could see some tears coming down from the eyes of those birds and animals.
A pak jste mohli vidět, jak jim začnou téct slzy těm zvířatům.
And then suddenly, flowers started showering down from the sky.
A pak začaly z nebe padat květy.
Because the demigods were also taking part in that kirtan.
Protože i polobozi se zúčastnili tohoto kirtanu.
And then, in front of all the devotees there, they all saw something very, very amazing.
A pak všichni přítomní oddaní uviděli něco úžasného.
Right in front of all of them, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu jumped off the altar and they began to dance very ecstatically.
Přímo před zraky všech, pán Chaitanya a pán Nityananda se skočili z oltáře a začali tancovat.
And then the devotees, they saw, hey, there's Advaitacharya and Gadadhar and Srivas.
Pak oddaní viděli, a tamhle je Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas.
There's Mukunda, Narahari and Haridas.
Mukunda, Narahari, Haridas.
Just see how Haridas is running behind Mahaprabhu, jumping up and down and shouting, Haribo, Haribo, Haribo.
Se podívejte, jak Haridas běží za pánem Chaitanyou a volá Haribo, Haribo,
And look at that old man, Advaitacharya. He's out there dancing like a madman.
Podívejte na toho starého pána Advaitu Acharyu, jak tančí jako šílenec.
Everyone was watching that. They were crying and crying.
Všichni to pozorovali a jen plakali a plakali.
And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Narottam and he embraced them.
A pak Chaitanya Mahaprabhu přišel za Narottamem a objal ho.
Narahari Chakravarti says he whispered something in their ears. Nobody knows what it was.
A Narahari Chakravarti popisuje, že mu něco pošeptal do ucha, ale nikdo neví, co to bylo.
And then suddenly they all disappeared.
A najednou všichni zmizeli.
All the devotees were watching this. It was a really good kirtan.
Všichni oddaní to viděli, to byl opravdu dobrý kirtan.
And suddenly Mahaprabhu and his associates disappeared.
A najednou Mahaprabhu se svými společníky zmizel.
And everyone was quiet for a moment.
A všichni byli chvíli sticha.
Then suddenly all the devotees began to wail and cry.
A najednou všichni oddaní začali naříkat hlasitě.
Hey haka, hey kota, hey Prabhu Gaura Chandra. Hey haka, hey kota, Sri Advaita Nityananda. Hare Krishna. They said, Kota Gaila, Prabhu Gaura Chandra. Where did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu go?
Oni naříkali, kam odešel Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Where is Advaita? Where is
Kde je
Nityananda?
Advaita, kde je Nityananda?
Kota, hey haka, hey kota, Sri Pandita Gadadhar. Hey haka, hey kota, Hari Dasa Bhatteshwar. Hey. Where did Gadadhar Pandit go?
Kam odešel Gadadhar Pandit?
Where's Haridas Thakur? Where's Vikeshwar Pandit?
Kde je Haridas Thakur a Vakreshwar Pandit?
What happened to all these associates of the Lord?
Co se stalo všem těmto společníkům?
They started bashing their heads.
Začali se bít do
The
hlavy.
devotees started crying.
Oddaní plakali.
The ground became muddy from their tears.
A zem byla byla rozvlácená jejich slzama.
Narahari Chakravarti mentions a very interesting point.
Narahari Chakravarti zmiňuje velice zajímavý bod.
It wasn't just Hare Krishna devotees who went to that program.
Nebyli to jen Hare Krishna oddaní, kteří přišli na ten program.
I was telling you this story when we went to this Islamic country.
Říkal jsem vám ten příběh, když jsme šli do té islámské země.
We weren't allowed back in the country for over 3 years after we went.
Pak už nás tam 3 roky nechtěli pustit.
It may have had something to do with the last lecture I gave there.
Možná to mělo něco společného s poslední lekcí, kterou jsem tam dal.
Someone told me, you know, the government is sending spies to the temple.
A někdo mi říkal, ta vláda tady, tak ona posílá špiony na ty lekce.
I said, that's great. We like that.
A já jsem říkal, to je perfektní, to se nám líbí.
So I gave a Sunday feast lecture saying, we like spies, send more spies. We like
Tak já jsem dal tu nedělní lekci a říkal jsem, my máme rádi špiony, pošlete jich víc.
spies are very good.
Oni jsou dobrý.
But suddenly after that, somehow they wouldn't let us back in the country for some time.
A nějak se stalo, že pak už nás nechtěli tam pustit.
So there were also some spies at this program.
Na tomhle programu taky měli.
There were some atheists in the village who said, hey, come on, let's go. We're going to make fun of these strange Hare Krishna people.
A v té vesnici žili nějací ateisté a oni se takhle domlouvali, hele, budeme si z nich dělat srandu.
They went there to make fun of the devotees.
Takže tam šli, aby si z oddaných utahovali.
But when that kirtan happened, those atheists, they also saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a
Ale při tom kirtanu i oni mohli vidět Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a jeho společnost.
and they also began to cry.
A taky začali naříkat.
This is how to spread the Hare Krishna movement.
Takhle se šíří hnutí Hare Krishna.
In the best way, the real way.
Takhle se šíří tím nejlepším způsobem, skutečným způsobem.
So this is a story from the Bhakti Ratnakar.
To je příběh z Bhakti Ratnakar.
This story was told by this great devotee, Narahari Chakravarti.
Ten příběh byl vyprávěn tím oddaným Narahari Chakravarti.
But there's other stories, similar things which have happened.
A jsou podobné příběhy, které se staly.
How many of you here, has anybody been to Mayapur and visited the Chaitanya Mutt where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was staying?
Kdo z vás jste byli v Mayapuru a navštívili jste Chaitanya Mutt, kde žil Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati?
Very interesting thing once happened there.
Jedna velice zajímavá věc se tam jednou
It
stala.
was about 1 o'clock in the morning. The devotees were all sound asleep.
Bylo to asi v 1 ráno, všichni hluboce spali.
And all of a sudden they heard someone shouting and shouting.
A najednou slyšeli, jak někdo křičí a křičí.
The devotees woke up, what's going on?
Oddaní se probudili, co se děje.
They came out, and to their shock, they found their Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, had gone mad.
A tak se všichni probudili a co se to děje a s hrůzou zjistili, že jejich duchovní mistr, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati,
He was flying and jumping up and down.
a on naříkal a skákal.
Hariva! 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 And the devotees are very good.
Oddaní byli v rozpacích.
Is everything okay?
Je všechno v pořádku.
And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he looked at him. You don't see?
A Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati se jich ptal, vy to nevidíte?
See what?
Co máme vidět, Guru Maharaj?
You don't, right there! Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita, they're dancing, doing kirtan. You don't see them?
Vy to nevidíte přímo tady. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita dělají kirtan.
No goodness.
Ne, Guru
But
Maharaj.
one devotee, he saw.
Ale jeden oddaný to
He
viděl.
also started crying and fell down on the ground.
A také začal naříkat a upadl na zem.
Jakone Jahadi Kori Drishti Adhikari. That verse we first started off with.
To je ten verš, kterým jsme začínali.
Vrindavan Das Thakur says that only those persons who are Drishti Adhikari, very fortunate, they can see.
Vrindavan Das Thakur říkal, ti, co jsou Drishti Adhikári, ti, co jsou velice požehnaní, oni mohou vidět.
Once Srila Bhaktisiddhanta was on a morning walk in Mayapur,
Jednou byl Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati na ranní procházce v Mayapuru
and there was a dead dog in the ditch.
a tam byl mrtvý pes v té strouze.
And it had been there for like a week. It was fully ripe.
Tam byl asi týden, byl plně zralý.
And when the devotees, when they were going past it, they were all covering their faces.
Oddaný, když kolem procházeli, tak si museli zakrývat nos.
And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta stopped.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta se zastavil
He said, what do you see?
a říká, co vidíte?
You don't see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda and associates doing kirtan here?
Nevidíte, jak tady Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a pan Nityananda a jejich společníci dělají kirtan?
The only thing you experience is a bad smell.
Jediný, co je váš zážitek, je ten smrad.
Who's really a member of this movement?
Kdo je skutečně členem tohoto hnutí?
Some devotees, all they see. Did you know there was a great scandal? Did you hear what that Mongol is doing?
Někteří oddaní jenom vidí, jako tímhle způsobem. Jako slyšeli jste to, co ten Manga udělal?
You hear this thing, and they speak about all the external things.
A viděli jste tohle a tamhle a pak budou mluvit o všech těch vnějších věcech.
And the only thing they experience of this movement is a bad smell.
A jediný jejich prožitek tohoto hnutí je smrad.
They haven't really joined.
Oni se ještě nepřipojili.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, when in Jagannath Puri,
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati v Jagannath Puri,
he used to tell the devotees that every morning you should go about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to the beach.
Říkával oddaným, měli byste okolo 3:45 ráno chodit na pláž.
And chant your japa there.
A zpívat tam svou japu.
Why?
Proč?
He said, because at that time, every morning, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates are taking bath there.
Protože tu dobu Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a jeho společníci tam se chodí koupat tu dobu.
Adyapiha Chaitanya Srila Kori Jakoni Jahari Kori Jishihari Kori. You're very fortunate. You might also see it.
Pokud budete požehnaní, tak to také uvidíte.
So I wanted to tell you another story about this wonderful devotee, Narahari Chakravarti.
Že ještě vám chci říct jeden příběh o tom úžasném oddaném Narahari Chakravarti.
We want to hear these stories not for entertainment, but to understand what it means to really be a member of the Hare Krishna movement.
My chceme tyto příběhy naslouchat ne pro zábavu, ale abychom pochopili, co to skutečně znamená být členem tohoto hnutí.
We should aspire to that.
Protože o to bychom měli se ucházet.
So Narahari Chakravarti, he wrote a number of different books. Maybe some of you have heard some of them, Bhaktivedanta, also Narottam Das.
Narahari Chakravarti napsal několik knih, možná jste slyšeli o té Bhaktiratnakáře, o Narottam
And there's one special edition of the Narottam Das, which has an appendix. We were speaking about appendixes this morning.
A jedna verze té Narottam Vilásy má ještě doslov, dovětek, tak jak jsme o něm mluvili ráno.
It's an appendix that was written by a devotee who was a disciple of Narahari Chakravarti. His name was
Byl sepsán žákem Narahariho Chakravartiho.
Ananda Narayan Maitra Bhagavat Bhushan.
Takhle se jmenoval.
And that part sister, that appendix, the name of it was
A název toho doslovu,
Sri Naraharira Vishesha Parichaya, or the stories about Narahari Chakravarti.
Takže ten se jmenuje Příběhy o Narahari Chakravarti.
One day in Vrindavan, Narahari Chakravarti was feeling very, very depressed.
Jednoho dne se Narahari Chakravarti cítil velice depresivní.
I'm not like Narahari Chakravarti, but I can relate to his feeling.
Nejsem jako Narahari Chakravarti, ale dokážu se vztahovat k jeho pocitům.
I moved into the Los Angeles temple in 1982.
Nastěhoval jsem se do chrámu v Los Angeles v roce 1982.
Just 5 years prior to that, Srila Prabhupada was staying there.
A pouhých 5 let předtím tam Srila Prabhupada pobýval.
And we used to go to Prabhupada's room upstairs.
A chodívali jsme do Prabhupádovo pokoju.
And we used to go to Cheviot Hills Park where Prabhupada walked.
A chodili jsme do toho parku, kde se Prabhupád
And we
procházel.
used to go to Venice Beach where Prabhupada walked.
Chodili jsme na Venice Beach, kde se
And
procházel.
we saw the photographs of Prabhupada with the devotees.
A viděli jsme všechny ty fotografie Prabhupády s
And they'd
oddanými.
have all these wonderful festivals where devotees would speak about their experiences with Srila
A
Prabhupada.
bylo spoustu festivalů, kde oddaní se dělili o své prožitky se Srilou Prabhupádou.
It's very nice,
Je to velice krásné.
but it also makes you feel very, very unhappy.
Ale také vás to udělá velice nešťastný.
I just missed out for a couple years. You just missed out, man, just for a couple years.
My jsme to prostě propásli o pár let.
You were a young man when Prabhupada was traveling in Europe, weren't you?
Milamárova Prabhu byl mladý muž, když Srila Prabhupád cestoval po Evropě.
Well, you missed out.
Jsme
And
to
this is-
propásli.
This was the feelings of Narahari Chakravarti.
A to byly ty pocity Narahari Chakravarti.
He was speaking to a great devotee, his name was Lakshman Das.
On mluvil s velkým oddaným, jeho jméno bylo Lakshmana.
I just missed meeting Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
Já jsem propásl setkání s Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Just by a few years.
Jenom o pár let.
I missed all these devotees.
Všechny tyto oddané jsem propásl.
And Lakshman Das, he said, don't worry, it's okay.
Lakshman Das ho uklidňoval.
Actually, you know, the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he predicted you.
Ve skutečnosti Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur tě
And
předpověděl.
he said that you, the great devotee, was going to take birth.
On řekl, že se narodí velký oddaný.
So you're that devotee. You have some very special service to do.
Ty jsi ten oddaný, máš velice speciální službu, kterou máš vykonat.
Nilamada Prabhu, how would you feel if
Jak
someone told you, anyway, don't worry, you just missed Prabhupada, but Prabhu, you have some special service to do. Is that going to make you feel better? You know? You won't be flexible.
Nilamada opravdu říká, že by ho takovéhle uklidnění neuklidnilo.
It was like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Ve skutečnosti je to jak přilít benzín.
He didn't feel better, he felt worse.
On se necítil.
Now you're trying to glorify me and say something nice about me. I'm so useless, I didn't get to see these devotees.
A ty se snažíš teďka o mě říkat něco pěkného, dobrýho, ale já jsem prostě ty oddaný propás.
He just became extremely emotional and I'm sorry, but he lost it.
A on byl velice jako emocionální, protože to prohrál.
And Narahari Chakravarti just started crying.
A on jen plakal.
Ha Vishwanath, ha Rupa Sanatan, ha Bhakti Raghunath, ha Shijiva, where are you?
Kde jste všichni?
Why did I take birth like at this time?
Proč jsem se narodil v tuto dobu?
Why couldn't I have seen you?
Proč jsem vás nemohl vidět?
Why couldn't I have witnessed your pastimes?
Proč jsem nemohl vidět vaše zábavy?
I've heard so much about you.
Tolik jsem o vás slyšel.
What terrible things did I do that I'm born at this time?
Co jsem musel provést za hrozné věci, že jsem se narodil v tuto chvíli.
And Narahari began to cry and cry.
Narahari začal naříkat a naříkat.
Let me sing you a few of the verses that describe what he said.
A já vám zaspívám pár veršů, co on řekl.
Oh, he nasa Vishwambara Patita Pranam. Oh, he Nityananda Prabhu Gaura-lila. Whoa, Hare Krishna. Oh, hey, Naka Vishwambara. Oh, Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Vishwambara.
O pane Vishwambaro,
Patita Pavan. Oh, hey, Nityananda Prabhu.
o Nityanando,
You're the abode of mercy.
jsi sídlem milosti.
Ha ha, Sri Advaita Dev, Kripa Sindhu Murti. Oh, Advaita, you're the personified ocean of mercy.
O Advaita Acharya, ty jsi zosobněním oceánu milosti.
Ha ha, Gadadhar Prabhu. Prabhu needs Shakti. Oh, Gadadhar, where are you?
O Gadadhare, kde jsi?
You're the personal Shakti of the Lord.
Jsi osobní energií Pána.
Ha ha, Haridasa, hey, Srivas Vikeshwar. Oh, Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur, Vikeshwar Pandit.
O Haridas Thakur, Vakreshwara, Srivas.
Hey, Mukunda Murari, all the devotees in Navadvip.
Všichni oddaní z Navadvíku.
Kota Gela Prabhu Gana Koila Andatan. Ina Pali Jana Kena Labalina. Kota Gela, where did you all go?
Kam jste všichni šli?
Where have you gone?
Kam jste se podělili?
How have I taken birth at such a dark, terrible time?
Proč jsem se narodil v tuto temnou dobu?
He said, hey, Nautam, hey, Vishwanath, please be merciful to me.
O, prosím, Vyšvanáto, buď ke mně milostivý.
Okay, this was going on in the temple of Govindaji in Vrindavan. How many of you have been to the temple of Govindaji?
Tohle se stalo u chrámu Govindajiho ve Vrindavanu.
How many of you have been to the temple of Gopishwar Mahadev?
A kolik z vás bylo u Gopishwar Mahadevi?
What is it, maybe 1.5 kilometers or something?
Možná to je něco jako kilometr a půl.
Narahari started crying and crying. He started rolling on the ground. He rolled on the ground all the way from Govindaji temple to Gopishwar Mahadev.
Narahari Chakravarti, jak naříkal, tak upadl na zem a začal se válet a takhle se odválel od chrámu Govindajiho až k Gopishwar Mahadevovi.
And he was crying. His tongue would break stones.
A tak naříkal, že jeho pláč rozbíjel kameny.
And all the big bosses, they heard someone crying. What's going on? They all came.
Všichni bridžbási slyšeli, jak tam někdo naříká.
And they saw this young boy rolling on the ground and crying and crying.
Tak tam přišli a viděli toho malého chlapce, jak naříká a válí se po zemi.
He had all the symptoms of Astasatikara, the different symptoms of ecstasy in his body.
A projevoval všechny symptomy Aštasattvika bhávy, této extáze na svém těle.
This is a history book.
To je historie.
At that time, suddenly, everything disappeared for Narahari.
A najednou pro Narahariho všechno zmizelo.
And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur came to him
Vishwanath Chakravarti za ním přišel
and spoke to him, my dear Narahari, what's wrong?
a promluvil k němu, Narahari, co se děje? Co je
Why are you
špatně?
crying?
Proč naříkáš?
Huh? Why are you crying?
Proč naříkáš?
Don't you see? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, they're right there.
Co pak nevidíš? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda jsou přímo tady.
Narahari, look. He saw Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, and Advaita, Gadadhar, Srivas, and their associates.
A Narahari se podíval a viděl všechny členy Pančatatvy a jejich společníky.
And then he really started crying.
A pak začal opravdu plakat.
And then Nityananda Prabhu spoke and said, hey, Vishwanath, who is this person crying and crying like this?
A pak Nityananda se ptal, hej, Vishwanathe, kdo to je tady, ten co pláče?
He said, this is Narahari.
A on říká, to je Narahari.
Bring him to me.
Přiveď mi ho.
So he sent Narahari to Nityananda Prabhu.
Tak on přivedl Narahariho Nityanandovi.
And Nityananda Prabhu said, you belong to my Gauranga.
A Nityananda mu řekl, ty patříš mému
And
Gaurangovi.
Nityananda gave him the Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
A Nityananda ho dal pánu Gaurangovi.
And then Gauranga Mahaprabhu said, what are you giving him to me? He should be given to Advaita Charya. And he gave him to Advaita.
A pán Chaitanya říká, proč ho dáváš mě? On by měl být dán pánu Advaitovi.
Advaita said, what are you giving him to me? He should be given to Gadadhar Pandit. Advaita gave him to Gadadhar.
A proč ho dává, Advaita říká, proč ho dáváš mě? Měl by být u Gadadhara, dal Gadadhara.
Gadadhar said, what are you making jokes? He should be given to Srivas Thakur.
Gadadhar říká, děláte si ze mě srandu a dal ho Srivasovi.
He gave him to Srivas.
Dal Srivas.
Srivas gave him to Haridas Thakur.
Srivas ho dal
Haridas Thakur gave him to Rupa Goswami.
Haridas Thakur dal
Who
Rupa
gave him to
Goswami.
Sanatana Goswami.
Rupa Goswami,
Who
Sanatana.
gave him to Gopal Bhatta Goswami.
Then Gopal
Who
Bhatta.
gave him to Raghunath Das Goswami.
Raghunath Das.
Who gave him to Jiva Goswami.
Jivovi Goswami.
In this way, they passed him down amongst all the devotees.
A takhle si ho předávali skrz všechny oddané.
Until finally,
Až nakonec
they handed him over to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur again.
ho předali zpátky Vishwanath Chakravarti.
And then Vishwanath brought Narahari to Nrsimha Chakravarti, his Gurudev.
A Vishwanath ho přivedl k Nrsimha Chakravartimu, jeho Gurudevovi.
And then Narahari really lost it. I mean, he was just personification of tears.
A pak už Narahari už jenom naříkal a naříkal.
And then Nityananda Prabhu said, who is this fellow?
A pak Nityananda se ptal, a kdo to teda je?
The Prabhu said, he's a servant of your servant, Nrsimha Chakravarti.
A on říkal, on je služebník tvého služebníka Nrsimha Chakravarti.
And at that time, Lord Nityananda spoke some very significant words.
A potom pán Nityananda řekl velice důležitá slova.
Nityananda bole sabe pai Rama Sita. Nandeki Ani Guru Tera Mutolo Hare Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu said, now I'm happy.
Nityananda řekl, nyní jsem šťastný.
Nandeki Ani Guru Vimukera Muk. I won't look at the face of anyone who rejects their guru.
Nepodívám se do tváře někoho, kdo odmítl svého guru.
Now he's coming with his Gurudev.
Ale nyní přichází se svým gurudevem.
Now I'm happy.
Nyní jsem šťastný.
Vimuki se jure taka chunge nai jan. Jai Prabhupada napaye. Such a Vimuki who doesn't appreciate his guru.
Takový vymuký, který neocení svého guru.
They jure take sangha. They stay a long ways away from our sangha.
Tak oni budou daleko, daleko od naší společnosti.
Mora e Prabhupada napaya sechara. He doesn't come close to my Prabhupada.
On se nepřiblíží k mému Prabhupádovi.
Who is Nityananda Prabhu's Prabhupada?
Kdo byl Nityananda Prabhu's Prabhupada?
Sachinandana Gaura Hari.
Sachinanda Gaura-lila.
Guru Anandare Eka Jura Chara Hoya. Ora Vira Deka Oye Kare Priya Diva Bala. He said anybody who rejects their guru,
Kdokoliv, kdo odmítne svého guru,
they become a wicked demon.
se stane prokletým démonem.
And he said, Mora Vira Deka, you look, you see my power.
Podívejte se na mou sílu.
Oye Tare Tegila, how I will reject such a person.
Jak odmítnu takovou osobu.
And he said, this Narahari, he deserves punishment now.
Tento Narahari si nyní zaslouží trest.
Lord Nityananda has a wonderful kind of punishment.
Pán Nityananda má vždycky úžasné
He
způsoby
reached
trestu.
over and grabbed Narahari by the neck, right?
Takhle chytil Narahariho za krk
And took and forcibly stuck Narahari's head on the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
a násilím umístil Narahariho hlavu na lotosové nohy Pána
That's
Chaitanya.
your punishment.
To je tvůj trest.
And then suddenly, everything disappeared again.
Najednou se zase všechno zmizelo.
And Narahari was having a pretty amazing day.
Narahari měl docela dobrý den.
He no longer could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, their associates.
Už neviděl Pána Chaitanya, Nityanandu a jejich společníky.
And Nityananda Prabhu was laughing. He said, hey, Narahari, what do you see now?
Nityananda se smál. Hej Narahari, co teď vidíš?
Suddenly, Narahari saw Radha and Krishna.
Najednou Narahari uviděl Rádu.
There they were at Vamsivat, right near to Gopisham Mahadev,
Oni byli u Vamšívatu, blízko Gopishvat Mahadev.
surrounded by different gopis and cows and peacocks.
Oni byli obklopeni různými gopími, pávy.
Narahari, who was having a very good day,
Narahari měl fakt dobrý den.
he saw Radharani sitting on a throne
Viděl, jak Radharani sedí na trůně.
and Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead,
Krishna, nejvyšší osobnost božství.
Adir Govinda Sarvakarna Karnam, the source of everything, the cause of all causes.
Příčina všech příčin, zdroj všeho.
Krishna was crying.
Krishna plakal.
Krishna was on his knees begging from Radharani.
Krishna byl na kolenou a prosil Radharani.
And Krishna was saying, hey Radhe, be merciful to me.
A Krishna říkal, o Radhe, buď ke mně milostivá.
This is what Krishna said.
To je, co řekl Krishna.
Radha Bhave Krishna Vivala Radha Prima Asya Diva Pohe Gala Bolo Hare Krishna.
Krishna Parama Vivala, with great feeling, Krishna spoke to Radharani.
S hlubokými pocity Krishna promluvil k Radharani.
Radha Prema Asadi, Radha, please, I want your love.
Říká, Rádho, já chci tvou lásku.
I know I'm the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Vím, jsem nejvyšší osobnost božství.
I create everything.
Všechno jsem
I
stvořil,
destroy everything.
všechno ničím,
I know everything.
všechno vím,
But there's one thing I don't have.
ale je jedna věc, kterou nemám.
I'm very, very greedy for it.
A velice potom dychtím.
I want to know what you feel.
Já chci vědět, co ty prožíváš,
I don't get to taste that
protože to nezažívám,
because I'm God.
protože jsem Bůh.
And God doesn't understand what the devotee experiences unless he's a devotee.
A Bůh nezažívá to, co oddaný, protože je Bůh.
So please, please give me that love.
Tak prosím, dej mi tuto lásku.
Vilasiva Bhakta Sangi Prema Sankirtane. Please give me that love that you have, and then with my devotees, I'm going to do Prema Sankirtan.
Prosím, dej mi tuto lásku, kterou máš, a potom s mými oddanými já budu dělat Prema Sankirtan.
And I'll roll on the ground in ecstasy.
A budu se v extázi válet po zemi.
When Srimati Radharani heard that, she became a little uncomfortable.
Když to Srimati Radharani uslyšela, tak se jí to úplně
And she
líbilo.
was kind of fidgeting, she was restless.
Trošku byla nervózní.
She took Krishna's hand
Vzala Krishnovu ruku
on her lap,
na klín.
and she said, "Hey, Prananath, Lord of my life,
O Prananáte, páne mého života,
Rajendra Nanda, son of the king of Braj,
synu krále.
what do you want with the feelings of this miserable lady?"
Po čem to toužíš? Ty chceš ty hrozný, nebo ty pocity té nešťastné ženy?
Don't you know they call me Pagalini Radha, the crazy woman?
To pak nevíš, že mě nazývají šílenou ženou?
Because if I can't see you even for one moment,
Protože když já tě nevidím malinkou chviličku,
I feel like a thunderbolt has hit me on the head.
tak se cítím, jak kdyby mě udeřil blesk do hlavy.
I just stand motionless, looking in the direction where you left.
A jenom nehnutě stojím a koukám směrem, kterým si odešel.
And Lalita, she spoke up.
A Lalita promluvila.
She said, "Hey, Kalachand Krishna, restless Krishna,
Hej, Kalachandi, Krishna,
blackish Krishna.
černý Krishna.
I'm the only one who knows what happens to Radharani when you're not present.
Já jsem jediná, kdo ví, co se děje s Radharani, když jsi nepřítomný.
You want to taste Radharani's love.
Ty chceš zažívat Radharaninu lásku.
That person who says that they can describe Radharani's love, they're a fool.
Osoby, které říkají, že mohou popsat lásku Radharani, tak jsou hlupáci.
They're trying to understand an ocean by the water in the footprint of a little baby calf.
Oni se snaží pochopit oceán z vody, která se vejde do otisku kopítka telete.
All that I can say is that when you're not present, I'm her only friend.
Jediné, co k tomu mohu říct, že když ty tu nejsi, tak já jsem její jediný přítel.
And then Krishna, he prayed to Lalita,
A pak se Krishna modlí s Lalitě.
"Please bless me. I'm in debt to Radharani."
Prosím, požehnej mi, já jsem velice zadlužen Radharani.
This morning we spoke about that debt.
Dneska ráno jsme o tom dluhu
A
mluvili.
debt of love.
To dluh lásky.
Krishna always reciprocates.
Krishna vždy opětuje.
Yeyatamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamyam. But the gopis made him break his promise.
Ale Gopi, oni ho donutili porušit tento slib.
And Krishna said, "Naparayeham niravadyasam." I don't know how to repay you.
Krishna řekl, já nevím, jak se vám odplatit.
I don't have the wealth.
Já nemám to bohatství.
Krishna is Priti Vishwa. He's the object of love.
Krishna je objektem lásky.
But Radharani is Priti Ashwa, the abode of love.
Ale Radharani je sídlem lásky.
How can the Priti Vishwa, the object of love, understand the feelings of the abode of love?
Jak může ten objekt lásky pochopit pocity toho sídla? kde ta láska je.
How can the darkness understand the glories of the sunshine?
Jak může temnota pochopit slávu slunečního světla?
How can ice understand the heat of fire?
Jak může led pochopit žár ohně?
They're opposites.
To jsou protiklady.
Krishna can't understand the feelings of the gopis.
Krishna nemůže pochopit pocity
So he
gopí.
told them, I don't know how to repay my debt.
A proto jim řekl, já nevím, jak mohu splatit svůj dluh.
Yapratiyatu sadhana. Let your own behavior be your glory. We spoke about that this morning.
Dneska ráno jsme o tom mluvili. Nechť vaše vlastní chování je vám odplatou.
Meaning, I have to become a sadhu and adopt your feelings to repay my debt to you.
Což znamená, že abych mohl splatit ten dluh, tak já se musím stát sádhuem, tak jako vy.
So Krishna, he said, hey Lalita, please you bless me that I can have this love of Radha.
Tak Krishna řekl, o Lalito, prosím, požehnej mi, že mohu mít tuto lásku rád.
When Radharani heard all this, she became even more disturbed.
A když to všechno Radharani slyšela, tak byla ještě
She
víc rozrušená.
grabbed Krishna's other hand.
A chytila Krishnovu druhou ruku.
And she said, hey Pranavallabha, listen to me.
Poslouchej, Pranavallabha.
You want to have my love.
Ty chceš mít mou lásku.
You want to go and do kirtan.
Chceš jít a dělat kirtan.
But what's going to happen to you?
Ale co se ti stane?
Your body is so soft.
Tvé tělo je tak jemné.
If I just barely touch your hand, it makes a mark. You're so soft.
Když se tě jenom jemňonce dotknu, tak hnedka tam je jako stopa potom doteknu.
If you adopt my feverish emotions,
Když přijmeš tyhle ty mé pocity, emoce,
you'll go mad.
tak se zblázníš.
You'll start rolling on the ground.
Budeš se válet po
And
zemi.
there's so many stones and hard objects there.
A tam je spoustu kamenů a tvrdých předmětů.
What will happen to your soft body?
Co se stane tvému jemnému tělu?
So Radharani said, so I'll embrace you.
A proto Radharani řekla, já tě obejmu.
I'll cover my body, I'll cover your body with my body.
Já překryju tvé tělo mým tělem.
So that when you start rolling on the ground, you won't feel that pain.
Takže když se začneš válet po zemi, tak nebudeš cítit tu bolest.
And therefore, Krishna Das Thakur Goswami says,
Proto Krishna Kaviraj Goswami říká,
Radha Baba Duty Sivalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupa. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu je Krishna.
But he has the emotions and he's covered with the complexion of Radharani.
Ale má emoce Radharani a je překryt barvou Srimati Radharani.
And then Radharani said, at that time, then you can distribute our prema to everyone.
A Radharani řekla, a potom budeš moct rozdávat prému každému.
Then suddenly that disappeared.
A najednou to zmizelo.
And Narahari Chakrabarti, who was having a very good day,
Narahari Chakravarti, který měl opravdu dobrý den,
suddenly he saw something else.
najednou viděl něco
He
jiného.
saw Radha and Krishna become one as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Viděl, jak Rádha s Krishnou se stávají jedním Chaitanyou Mahaprabhu.
And then suddenly he was back again in Vrindavan.
A najednou byl zpátky ve Vrindavanu
And all the devotees were around him.
a všichni oddaní byli okolo něho.
And Narahari Chakrabarti was laying on the ground and all the devotees gathered around.
Narahari Chakravarti ležel na zemi, všichni oddaní byli okolo něj shromážděni.
Suddenly Narahari jumped up about 6 feet off the ground.
A najednou vyskočil 6 stop vysoko
And he started shouting.
a začal křičet.
Haribo! 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 But they didn't whisper it, they shouted. Haribo! And all the devotees, they started crying.
Všichni oddaní začali naříkat
So he's really a member of the Hare Krishna movement.
a říkali, on je skutečným členem hnutí Hare Krishna.
He joined.
On se připojil.
Somebody joined.
Někdo se konečně připojil.
So that's my humble prayer today.
To je moje pokorná modlitba dnes.
That maybe in this festival,
Možná na tomto festivalu,
maybe in the kirtan,
možná v kirtanu,
at least one person might join.
alespoň jedna osoba zvládne se připojit.
And I want to share some other good news with you.
A ještě se chci podělit o pěkné novinky s vámi.
This is a statement from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Thakur and Chaitanya Bhagavan.
To je prohlášení Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a Srila Thakurovi v Chaitanya Bhagavat.
Janma tomara paine mora sanga. Kumara sabara bhitya jeti deva ranga bolo. Hare Krishna. He told Srivas, you have my association birth after birth.
On řekl Srivasovi, ty máš mou společnost zrození za zrození.
And Srivas, not just you.
A nejenom ty, Srivas.
Toma sabara bhitya. All of your servants will also be with me and see all of my pastimes.
Všichni tví služebníci budou se mnou a uvidí mé zábavy.
And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta comments.
Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati komentuje.
When the Lord performs his pastimes in this world,
Když Pán provádí své zábavy v tomto světě,
his associates come with him,
jeho společníci přijdou s ním,
engaged in his service.
zaměstnají se v jeho službě
And persons who are counted as servants of those associates
a osoby, které se počítají jako služebníci těchto služebníků,
also receive the opportunity to realize those pastimes of the Lord.
také získají příležitost realizovat tyto zábavy nejvyššího Pána.
So this is Srila Prabhupada's comment.
To je komentář Srila Prabhupády.
He said, I don't know if you were associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in your previous life.
On říká, nevím, jestli jste byli společníci Pána Chaitanya v vašich minulých životech,
But you're associating in this life.
ale združuje se s ním v tomto životě.
Because Vrindavan Das Thakur says,
Protože Vrindavan Das Thakur
Ajya Piha Chaitanya O Gaura-lila. Right now, right here in Czech Republic, all of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes are going on.
protože on říká, teď a tady v České republice všechny zábavy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu právě probíhají.
But I haven't joined.
Ale já jsem se ještě nepřipojil.
All that I experience is a bad smell.
Všechno, jediný můj prožitek je ten smrad.
I just want to talk about the scandals and the problems.
A já chci mluvit o těch skandálech a problémech.
But those persons, Jakone Jahari Paridrishti Adikai, were very fortunate
Ale osoby, které jsou velice požehnané,
who really actually joined this movement.
které se skutečně k tomuto hnutí připojily,
They'll see these pastimes today.
tak oni ty zábavy uvidí i dnes.
The Gaura-lila is going right now, right here.
Gaura-lila probíhá právě teď a právě tady.
And this is our desire for Gaura Purnima.
To je naší touhou pro Gaura Purnimu.
It's not just a historical festival. There was someone who left their body over 500 years ago. We're going to tell some stories about him.
Není to o nějaké historické postavě, co odešla před 500 lety a my si o ní budeme vyprávět příběhy.
And this movement, Gaura Purnima, means we want Mahaprabhu to appear in our place.
V tomto hnutí chceme, aby se Chaitanya Mahaprabhu zjevil v našem srdci.
And like the devotees, we told the story about who got initiated at Srila Thakur's house.
A stejně jako ti oddaní, o kterých jsme mluvili, jak byli zasvěceni ve Srivasangami,
By serving all the Vaishnavas
tím, že sloužili všem oddaným
in a mood of humility and love,
v náladě pokory a lásky,
by giving wonderful boga to the deities,
tím, že nabízeli úžasnou bohubožství,
by distributing a prasadam to the devotees,
tím, že rozdávali prasádám oddaným,
we might see it ourselves today.
tak
We might see their pastimes today.
a my ty zábavy můžeme vidět i dnes.
Now I know Mangal Prabhu is thinking, maybe not today, right?
Manga opravdu si určitě myslí, možná ne dneska,
Maybe next year.
možná příští rok.
No, today.
Ne, dnes.
Don't think about next year.
Nepřemýšlej o příští rok.
There might not be a next year.
možná tady nebude.
Now, Baby, right now, let me see these passions, let me enter into these passions.
Teď chci vidět ty zábavy.
Let me really join the Hare Krishna movement.
Nech se připojím k tomuto hnutí.
Okay? So we want to stop here. A minute or two over time. Should we take questions or discussion? As you know, time. You asked. So we'll go ahead and stop here. If anybody has any questions or comments, then we can come and see me personally. And I encourage everybody, please, Nila Madhaprabhu is going to speak a little later. Please hear his talk.
Takže teďka budeme pokračovat. Gaura Prabhu má připravené divadlo a potom od 3:30 bude mít kata Nila Madhava Prabhu a Madhavananda Prabhu prosil, ať všichni přijdete na to kata.
This is the Hare Krishna Gaura Purnima challenge.
To je výzva pro tuto Gaura Purnimu.
Let's see if we can see and enter into the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu today.
Zkusme se připojit k zábavám Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Supreme Purushottam Satchidananda Gaura Hare Ke, Shri Gaura Nityananda Prabhu Ke, Shri Prabhupada Ke, Veda Bhakta Vrinda Ke, Nimanande, Namchakobhuru Vishchati Prasindu Vyeva Chapapitanam Padamegyo, Vaishnavegyo Namo Namaha, Ananda Koti Vaishnava.